Good day, everybody. I had an actual suit video, ready to go, but I realized I said the wrong words, and it basically ruined the whole video. So now I've got to re-record it, but I don't have time to re-record it because I'm so busy. So I'm just gonna do a really quick readout of an article I wrote for Flavor this week, having to deal with Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a video game review of a 2014 game in 2021. You're welcome, Internet. Anyways. Five Nights at Freddy's and Systems of Systemic Fear. As it turns out, Flavor never reviewed Five Nights at Freddy's when it was released to much fanfare in 2014. But to be fair, it never won an Ursa Major, getting beat by a Pokemon Remaster in 2014 and Undertale in 2015. What a bullets the furries dodged on that one, huh? You see, in recent days, the independent creator of the franchise, Stephen Coffin, had his sizable political contributions to members of the Trumpian Brigade, trademark, picked up by social media. The candidates in said brigade typically speak about the subversion of American values and see people who are outside those values as the enemy. They use this fear to get people to donate money to them. To highlight this, we see Crawford's statements in response to this revelation that he made said donations. I felt Trump was the best man to fuel a strong economy and stand up to America's enemies abroad, of which there are many. He goes on to indicate that he prioritizes the needs of this foreign defense over issues of American citizens' treatment by their own government with, even if there were candidates who had better things to say about the LGBT community directly and bigger promises to make, I believe their stances on other issues would have ended up doing much greater harm to those communities than good. Basically, he is noting that we should fear foreign governments more than we should fear our domestic one, which is usually a position that people who are generally left alone by their own government can comfortably have. Interestingly, it is this quote that made me think of the story of Five Nights at Freddy's in a whole new way. So let's go down this bonny hole. Metaphorically, you freaking furries. It's just tasks! So let's begin our review looking back at the mechanics of Five Nights at Freddy's. Spoiler alert, I thought the game itself was not fun. I did respect that it had an aspect of fun in watching others play it. Watching a person slip into madness of trying to keep up with the tasks before they fail and get jump scared. That tension is dramatic and fun to watch. This led to a lot of Let's Players delving into it. Streaming didn't really exist as it is today back then, just for you young whippersnappers. Anyways, and it made you wonder how each person would deal with the problem before them. Even if you knew the mechanics yourself, you couldn't wait to see how the Let's Player, not really the streamer, would discover them. The aspect of the game is what made it popular. Nothing more, nothing less. The game itself, when playing it by yourself, is just repetitive and stressful. If I wanted to do something like that on my computer, I would just spend some extra time in the office. Of which I'm spending many these days, which is why I'm recording this video. Anyways, when art imitates artist. The entire premise of Five Nights at Freddy's is that you are trying to keep yourself from being attacked by animatronic animals that wander about a haunted children's entertainment establishment. If you fail to keep them out, they, according to some guy on a radio, will stuff you into an animatronic exoskeleton which will crush your own human limbs in the process. This much message is enough to get you to do everything you can to prevent these mechanical beasts from getting to you. So you do the most sane thing that anyone would do. You put yourself into a security room with the strangest doors in the universe that require power to remain in a closed state. You check the cameras to know where they are, and you keep the power from going out by keeping the doors as open as often as you can. instead of, quitting. I guess some people just get addicted to the adrenaline rush that fear provides. But even if you do it for the thrill, eventually during one's playthrough of the game, one will start to understand the mechanics behind the mechanical creatures. And as those characters become more active, anything less than optimal gameplay will not get you through the night. In other words, a game that was once about tension of the unknown is now simply one measuring mechanical response. The jump scares which used to scare now just bring disappointment that you were not machine-like enough to get through the night. This is why I disliked the game. It's a mechanical response game disguised in a horror motif. Though when I look back on it, it unintentionally shows how powerful an agent fear actually is. The fear of becoming a machine becomes the fear of failure. And that drives you to forget about the initial fear of becoming a machine. You see, you can't win Five Nights at Freddy's. You just play yourself into becoming an animatronic monster. A being that sits in a room and clicks buttons in a particular order with the greatest of efficiency. At some point, Freddy and his friends are convinced. They don't have to make you into one of them. You always were one of them. So lost in fear that you became the monster you sought to keep out. On that note, if you sacrifice the freedom of your peers at home in order to protect yourself from tyrants thousands of miles away, then what is it that you are working towards at home behind those closed and resource-hungry doors or walls? But that's just a theory. A social political theory. Thanks for watching. Anyways, that was a bit of an experiment. I think it would help if I did that for like articles that I wrote for the organization, because I think it would help the articles reach a larger audience, for one, and number two, I think it also presents people who have trouble reading or have like some sort of issue with that. It helps reach a larger audience, and it's already transcribed for me. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can read what I wrote, and so it helps bring that into there. So we'll do an actual quote unquote real video next week. But let me know what you think. So kick a comment in the comment section about this kind of thing. Thanks for watching. Be sure to kick that like, kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section, and I will see you guys next week. And remember, no one wins Five Nights at Freddy's. You just become the machine. You were a machine the whole time. The whole time. If you think about it, it's sort of like a recruitment thing, right? He gets you scared about the outside world, and it's like, yeah, just look at the cameras. Just keep looking at the cameras. Stay in this room. Don't move around. Just sit in that chair and push the buttons. If those robots get to you, you'll become one of them. Wink, wink. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's. Where were you on that one, Pat? This is how they make the animatronics. This isn't a job. This isn't a job about looking over the animatronics. They're trying to recruit you. They're trying to see how good you could push buttons in a room and not move for 6 hours. Right? I mean, that's how it works. Sort of like how the internet, you push buttons, you don't really get anything done. You just, give out propaganda points for your side. Like a good little robot. You're all good little robots. Anyways, have a good one. See you later.